we can't wait to see Cris Cyborg inside the boxing ring tonight, making the transition from MMA. All right, so Christy, let's flip sides here and talk about Gabby Holloway. If she were here with us now, what's your advice? Because Gabby, when she was asked about taking on the legend of MMA, said, you know what, I'm a boxer. I'm going to show her and teach her about boxing tonight. How do you think she responds?
You know what? That's absolutely right. She's very confident. I saw her at the weigh-in yesterday, and again, you know, I'm all about being aggressive and all about putting the pressure on. I think she has to stand up. Don't take a backward step. She's small, but dynamite comes in small packages. So maybe she stays tight, stays low, and really just lets her hands go. Who knows? This could be the fight of the night. It could actually steal the show. I'm
going to put the Hall of Fame legend on the spot. Who wins?
I'm still going to go with Cyborg.
Cyborg it is. All right. We heard from Christy Martin as we look forward to this tremendous women's fight here tonight. Head-to-head, Gabby Holloway, Cris Cyborg. Back to Lupe Contreras.
Entering the arena, making her way to the blue corner, Gabby Holloway. In the red corner, Cris Cyborg.
MMA legend, Bellator world champion, Cris Cyborg making her professional debut. Polly, take us back to your debut, 2001, Thaddeus Parker. What do you remember about it?
I remember, speaking of pro debut opponents, he was basically a pro debut opponent. He didn't really give much resistance, and you know, the fight was over before it started. It turned out my second pro fight had to really be my pro debut. It was like I got some rounds. But you know what's going on with Cyborg's mind as you walk into the ring for your first pro fight. She has done an exhibition, but this one goes on the record. This is officially her pro debut, and you know, a new journey, a new course of life. In a way where you're still knowing a lot because you're bringing so much fame from your MMA days.
Well, it's sort of like when you made the switch to bare knuckle boxing, you find Arts and Loba. It's very similar to what you're doing, but at the same time, it's a lot different.
Yeah, exactly. Some adjustments that need to be made and whatnot. In MMA, the gloves are open. You can grab. Here in boxing, you've got to understand your range very well because you don't have the option to where if you smother yourself to pry yourself loose with your bare hands, with your bare fingers anyway, like you do in the MMA gloves.
We continue at CHI Health Center BLK Prime pay-per-view. This is our co-featured bout of the evening, set for 4 rounds in the super welterweight division. Our judges scoring the action are Mike Contreras, Jeff Sennett, and Tom Milley. In charge of the action, referee Joe Doherty. Presenting first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. She enters wearing green with black and white on the scale. She weighed in at an official 154 1/2 pounds. Tonight, this battle-tested veteran enters the ring for the 3rd time as a professional. Fighting out of Sanford, North Carolina, Gabby, the Gabinator Holloway. Her opponent across the ring, wearing blue with green and gold trim, she weighed in at the super welterweight limit of 154 pounds. After capturing mixed martial arts world titles in Strikeforce, Bellator, and the UFC tonight, this MMA legend makes the leap into the professional ranks of boxing inside the BLK Prime ring. From Curitiba, Brazil, Cris Cyborg.
Okay, we've already went over the rules. Any questions from blue corner? Any questions from red corner? I expect a good, clean, hard fight. Protect yourself at all times and obey my commands. You touch gloves now if you want. Come out.
Here's our tale of the tape as Cris Cyborg makes her pro boxing debut. Yes, she's long in the tooth, 37 years old, has been in so many great wars in MMA. Let's see what she's got left here. In boxing, she'll enjoy nearly a 4-inch reach over the Gabinator, Gabby Holloway. I do like that nickname.
I'll tell you what, interesting to go with a southpaw for your pro debut, southpaw opponent.
We know Cyborg can hit hard.
Southpaw's usually a little bit awkward to fight. Usually your debut in general is a bit awkward at times. So, could make things interesting.
Cyborg did have a boxing bout, but it was an unsanctioned fight against Simone Silva in Brazil in September. She won a unanimous decision over 8 rounds, but this officially is her debut. And just like in the MMA, Paulie, she's going to go forward and attack.
Yeah, she's looking to create things right now, but she's not getting a lot of help from the opponent at the moment.
It's got to be a little bit of being starstruck. You're standing across from one of the most famous female fighters ever.
Yeah, also Holloway is, I don't know if she has any, looking at the way she's moving, I'm not sure if she has any mechanism to know how to create an attack or offense. She does the same thing pretty much in the way she attacks. She just dips her head over to the right and tries to throw a left hand to the stomach. There it is again. That's basically her one thing she does.
But even with her being deficient like this, I want to see the fundamentals from Cris Cyborg.
Yeah,
see, dude, she has those things that she can build on. Yeah. You know,
close the gap the right way so you can maximize the leverage on your shots. That's what I want to see Cyborg doing right now. See if she knows how to close that gap in a way where when she gets into the door, she's able to land her shots with snap because she's not smothering herself.
And you can see she's leading with that. She want to load up, but in boxing, you got to get that front hand going. But that was a good right hand. Either or.
Only 2-minute rounds in women's boxing, so they'll go by quick.
Much more.
You won that round?
Yes, she did. You're not working. You got to be more active. You got to be more active, okay?
Yeah, you can definitely outbox her.
But she don't have it. She don't have it. And when you get inside, start beating her ass. Don't come outside. Throw your lungs up deep. Deep. You hear what I'm saying? 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. Straight right hand, okay? Keep your distance. Keep your punches. You're crowding it. Keep the distance. Right? Keep your good. 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 Listen. Keep your hands up and stay low. Don't stay too high. Be ready to throw the right hand. Okay?
All right, round 2. Cris Cyborg and Gabby Holloway. They told Gabby to throw more punches. She's already doing so. Paul, you you can see the face of Gabby. She's afraid to get hit.
Yeah. She's not really, she's having issues trying to figure out how she's going to commit the end inside, but it's the same thing. She dips her head over to the right and throws the left hand to the chest. Now she's throwing it to the head. It's basically her one way she attacks. So at this point, Cyborg should start to notice this. Start to prep for it as she tries to hold the gap.
Kudos to Holloway. She landed a little left hand, overhand left. He landed.
Cyborg turned pro in MMA in 2005. She's been in the fight game for 17 years.
Yeah, and keep in mind she's been in the fight game with MMA gloves. You know, it's a little bit different with the boxing gloves. You don't have your fingers free, so you've got to find range in a different way. Because with MMA, if you don't find the range the right way, you can still grab your opponent and maneuver him in the grappling locks. But here, if you misjudge your range, you wind up in a smother situation. You're basically waiting for the ref to break you.
And so when I look at Cris right now, I say, how would she look if she had a jab? If she had an effective jab, it would be able to set up that powerful right hand that she has. I think once she gets back to the drawing board, she needs to learn just how to throw a jab.
Yeah, Cyborg wanted the takedown there.
You know what it is too? It's not easy. It's a little bit more difficult to jab with a southpaw. I mean, granted, the Cyborg doesn't have a lot of boxing experience, so you know she's fighting a southpaw in her debut. Who knows? She might not be much of a jabber to begin with, but she's probably jabbing even less with the southpaw being in front of her. There's a good jab, and it backs up Holloway.
Yeah, early on in your career, you're in there with a southpaw, and it's only a real pro debut. That was kind of suspect to say the least. A little awkward.
A couple landed punches there at the end of the round for Cyborg.
Listen, this round, you got to risk a little bit more, okay? You got to be first. You do this round, you did a little bit better, okay? But I think you can stop her if you want to, okay? Okay? How bad you want this? How bad do you want this? Cris, how bad do you want it? You can stop her right now, okay? But make sure you keep your hands up, okay? Stay busy. One, double jab, right hand, okay? Stay busy with the straight punches. When she drops her hand, go with the uppercut and follow with the hook, okay? Listen, you gotta go. You gotta go this round, okay? You're stronger than her, okay? Okay? But make sure you keep your hands up. Don't go too crazy, but you gotta let your hands go, okay?
I will say this about Cris Cyborg, while other athletes at the age of 37 are, if not completely done, are winding down, but she seems like she's still raring to go.
Yeah.
Any fight sport will do. She just loves the competition of the fight game. And there were some rumors that she might be fighting Katie Taylor. That was seriously being considered from what I'm told. We'll see if that happens down the line.
Yeah, that would have to be down the line.
Way down.
Yeah, her boxing.
I don't know if Cyborg has too much way down the line stuff. She's 37.
True, good point.
But she's much bigger than Katie, and it would certainly turn some heads. People would be interested to see it.
As a spectacle, maybe.
Yeah.
That was a good right hand there at good range, and that's where she's got to throw them from. Telegraph a little bit less so that, you know, she lands them more often.
Well, Paulie, when you are in the gym and you see an MMA fighter that's trying to make the switch to boxing, what's the first couple of things that you go right after teaching?
The footwork. The footwork. They tend to step differently when they kind of step forward, and obviously in MMA you need to step differently because you're getting kicked in the leg. But in boxing, you got to push off your back leg, and Cyborg doesn't push off the back leg. She steps with the front leg, which essentially looks the same for the naked eye. But when you're pushing off the back leg instead of just stepping with the front leg, you're getting more dry on your shots, and you're closing the gap a little bit quicker.
Great insight. You see that too, Antonio?
Oh yeah. You know, anytime you step, you're moving with motion.
Ooh, there's a right.
You're moving with motion and speed, so that generates power.
It looks like the gap is wilting, and down she goes.
4, 5, 6.
She's back on her feet. Let's see if Cyborg can get the knockout in her pro debut.
And here we go.
At this point, if she just finds the range of the shots and doesn't smother herself, she should get out of there. It's just a matter of not smothering herself.
Yeah, Gabby is running for her life. Cyborg's got her against the ropes. Does she have enough time in this round to finish the job? No, she does not.
stand up. Stand up. You have to hurt her. Breathe deep. Yeah, I know. We've seen it. Breathe. Breathe, Gabby. Breathe. Rinse that off. Breathe. Listen to me. Listen. Stand up. You're going to have to take a chance. And you're going to have to get inside.
There's a knockdown combination, double body shot. Finally gets Holloway to take a knee. But he starts with a straight right hand, nice, that she throws from a proper range. You see, she doesn't smother herself. And because she didn't smother herself when she threw that right hand, she was able to leave enough space to be able to dig that body shot the way you want to dig it instead of smothering it. Yeah, getting that leverage behind it. And that's only because she threw that first right hand from a proper range to where it left space to follow up with the combination, which is the rest of the combination, which is the body shots.
All right, does Gabby Holloway have the wherewithal to survive 2 more minutes? This is the final round. Cyborg put her down in the 3rd and is looking to do the same here in the 4th.
Look like she wanted the TKO or the knockout. She's going for it.
Here we go, fight.
No, she almost went down again, thought about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if Cyborg finds the range, Holloway's going to be gone. Holloway just needs a little push out the door. She's already halfway out the door herself. She doesn't want to be in this fight. It's just a matter of, is Cyborg going to find the range to convince Holloway not to be here anymore? Because if Holloway's able to smother her this way, Holloway will keep surviving.
Just over a minute to go.
And Cris don't want to smother herself by getting too close. Keep the range and work from there. I think she can get this stoppage.
All right, break. Let's go. Here we go. Right.
Imagine someone like Cris Cyborg stalking you down after you've already been knocked down. Scary stuff for Holloway. She ate another big heavy shot.
Yeah, I think the ref at this point could probably stop the fight. You can see Holloway's body language is not bad of wanting to be in the fight.
Cris is head-hunting, but she should go to the body. That's how she hurt her the first time.
Yeah, and I think that's why the refs continuing to let it continue, is because I guess she's not landing clean enough.
30 seconds.
And Holloway's in full survival mode, but she's able to survive.
Yeah, Holloway wants out of this fight in the worst way. 10 seconds to go. Can she get her knockout in her pro debut? Holloway just trying to survive. And that will do it. Cyborg with a definitive win. Holloway survives, but a pretty decent debut for the MMA legend.
Yeah, you know, some things to work on, but you're up to schneid. You know what I mean? You got the win in the W column of your record, and that's it. Now you sort of keep going back to the gym, work on the things you need to work on. I think she definitely needs to work on her footwork a little bit, and we'll see where they go from there.
I was impressed because she kept her form for 4 rounds, and that's not easy to do when you're just getting in the game. Her mental state, I believe, is built for the game.
As you guys mentioned there in the last round, she didn't smother herself, even though she wanted the knockout. Kept her range, landed some heavy shots, and credit to Gabby for surviving.
And again, if we would have had a 3-minute round fight, I think this fight would have been stopped within the distance.
Stick him under there and cut that down.
She's gonna have to, as she goes and fights better opponents, she's gonna have to be a little bit more deceptive. Right now, you got an opponent in front of you that you could afford to just show her that you're gonna walk up to her and just beat her up. But when fighters get better, you're gonna have to disguise your attack in a bit more deceptive of a way. And those are things she can go back to the gym and work on.
Well, but it's kind of hard when you go back to the gym to work on stuff, but you're also still doing MMA, so you can't focus strictly on boxing.
That's a good point.
Let's go up to Lupe for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after going 4 rounds inside the BLK Prime ring, the official scorecard reads as follows. Judge Sennett scores about 40-35. Judge Contreras, 39-36. And Judge Mealy scores it 40-34. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Cris
Drama there, although I think one of the judges gave a round to Gabby Holloway. Might want to check those credentials.
maybe a sympathy round.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
I was impressed with Cris and her own belt. Man, she got her own belt.
All right, before we hear from Cyborg, let's revisit these highlights, Antonio.
This is nice pressure that she's putting on right now. Holloway did land a right hand a little bit there at the end. But right here, boom, boom, those two body shots was landing with leverage. Like Paulie said, that right hand set her up in good position. But I would have liked to see her go back to the body like that. I think that would have probably gave her a chance to stop her with this side.
But you see why she was able to set that body shot so hard is because the right hand kept the distance. In the rest of the fight, she wasn't getting that because Holloway wasn't staying still anymore. Holloway was able to get away. And that's where she has to be calm enough to where she can set her feet and dig the body shot once she sees the opportunity. She did it once in this fight. She realized that right hand set her up because Holloway kind of dipped the way she needed it to, but you gotta work on those a little more.
All right, Miguel is now with Cris Cyborg.
Congratulations, Cris, on the unanimous decision victory. You're stepping into the boxing world now. How would you assess your very first professional bout against Holloway?
First, I want to say thank you for everybody coming here. I appreciate everyone. E galera, vocês aí no Brasil me assistiram. Lembrar que é Deus, pátria, família. E é nós, não retroceder nunca. I train a lot, so this is new sport for me, guys. But I can promise you for you, I train every day, for learning every day. I humbly forgive a show for you guys. I appreciate everyone.
Now, in the third round, you put Holloway down with a body shot. What did you see there to land that body shot? And then you were going for the finish. You weren't able to come away with it. But what did you see and what changed in the middle of that fight and you ramped up the aggression?
The reality was she's fall. I forget about have to count it to 10. I was thinking I win, like MMA. So then my team say, no, she need to come back. So, you know, for me, everything's new, but I love it. I want to say thank you, God, for the opportunity. If I'm here today, because he's opened the door for me, and I'm going to do the best for him, for his glory. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy every moment.
You've accomplished everything you could accomplish at the MMA level, world champion in multiple organizations. Now you step into the boxing world. Is boxing your future?
I don't know. I'm training hard, and thank you, Benavides team. Man, I got a short notice, but I have a lot of things to learn. But I promise you guys, I'm going to do best fights for you guys. I'm going to come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cris Cyborg.
I loved how she said it. I got mixed up when I knocked her down and the ref stepped in. I thought it was over. I didn't know they counted to 10. That's a pretty quick rule you need to learn, Cris. That's why she was still throwing the punches.
Exactly. You got to be careful not hitting them when they're down.
At least you didn't go for a rear naked choke. All right, with that, we send it back upstairs in Dave Ryan.
Hey, Todd, thanks so much. Question answered. Cris Cyborg gets the boxing ring here in Omaha. Very impressive. Now, the fight goes the distance because the guy at ringside says it really wasn't close at all. Gabby Holloway did her best, fought hard, was outmatched by Cris Cyborg in her second ever boxing event, and put on a great show here tonight. Now it's time for some pictures, some selfies, some social media for the happy winner here in Omaha.